Harper, these emails prove everything you hid from me.
You weren't supposed to see that, Colin!
It's 2 a.m. on a Tuesday, and I'm sitting in what used to be our kitchen, eating cold pizza that tastes like cardboard and regret. The apartment feels too big now, echoing with the ghost of conversations that ended in slammed doors and accusations. My name is Colin Draper, and according to my wife Harper, I'm about to become invisible. Too bad she never figured out it's the quiet ones who see everything, I mutter to the empty room, washing down another bite with lukewarm beer. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. My phone buzzes against the scratched Formica table. Unknown number. The text that appears makes me freeze, then hot, then cold again. A photo. Harper at the Riverside Hotel bar, the one with the dim lighting and overpriced cocktails. She's wearing the black dress I bought her for our anniversary last year, and there's a hand on her thigh, a hand that definitely isn't mine. The hand belongs to Liam Corder, her colleague from Pinnacle Real Estate, the same Liam she's mentioned casually over dinner for the past 6 months. Just a junior associate, she'd said, ambitious but harmless. My phone buzzes again. Another photo. This one shows them walking toward the elevator, his arm around her waist, her head thrown back in laughter. The timestamp reads 11:47 p.m., last night. While I was working the night shift at Morrison Warehouse, loading trucks and pretending my college degree in computer science meant something, I set the phone down carefully like it might explode. My hands are shaking, and I hate that they're shaking. 45 years old, and I'm trembling like a teenager who just got his heart broken for the first time. But this isn't heartbreak. This is something else entirely. I walk to our bedroom, my bedroom now, I guess, and open Harper's dresser drawer. It's mostly empty. When did she move her things out? How did I not notice? But then again, I've been working nights for 3 months, sleeping during the day while she's at work. We've been living like ghosts haunting the same house. There's a manila envelope on her pillow. My name is written on it in her precise handwriting. Inside, I find divorce papers, already signed, and a note written on her personal stationery. Colin, by the time you read this, I'll be starting my new life. I've drained our joint accounts. It's all legally mine, according to the prenup your lawyer was too cheap to read carefully. Liam and I are moving to the new Riverside condos development. We want a real life, with real ambition and real success. You'll fade into nothing, just like you always have. Don't try to contact me. My lawyer will handle everything. Harper. I read it 3 times. Then I laugh. It starts as a chuckle, then builds into something that sounds unhinged even to me. The neighbors probably think I've lost my mind. They're not wrong. Harper always was thorough. She's thought of everything, covered every angle, except one. She forgot that I used to be good at this stuff. Before the warehouse, before the failed startup, before I became the invisible man she's so eager to discard, I was a software developer. I built systems, I found loopholes, I solved problems. And Harper Draper has just become a very big problem. I grab my laptop and start digging. Bank accounts, credit cards, social media, email addresses she thinks I don't know about. It's amazing what people leave lying around in their digital footprints. Within an hour, I found her secret email account. The password is LiamandMe2023. Subtle. The inbox is a goldmine. Months of planning, scheming, laughing at my expense, screenshots of our bank statements with crying, laughing emojis, voice messages where she imitates my pathetic attempts to discuss our marriage problems. But the real treasure is in her sent folder. Messages to her friends, her coworkers, her family, all of them painting me as a loser, an extra weight, someone who never had any real ambition anyway. Colin's like a houseplant, she wrote to her sister. You forget he's there until he starts dying and makes the place smell bad. I save everything. Screenshots, downloaded files, backed up to 3 different cloud services. Evidence. My phone rings. Unknown number again. Hello? Is this Colin Draper? The voice is female, nervous. Depends who's asking. This is Janelle Morrison. I work with Harper at Pinnacle. I sent you those photos. I sit up straighter. Why? Because someone needed to know what she's really like. She's been bragging about how she's going to trade up from you. She's been showing people your wedding photos and laughing about how desperate you looked. It's disgusting. What's in it for you? A pause. Harper's been taking credit for my client acquisitions. She's blocked my promotion twice. And she's about to get Liam promoted over me, even though he's only been here 8 months and I've been here 4 years. So you want revenge too. I want justice. There's a difference. I like Janelle already. What else can you tell me? They're planning to announce their engagement next month at the Pinnacle Company picnic. Harper wants to make it public in a big way. She's already picked out a ring. With whose money? Yours, probably. She's been bragging about cleaning out your accounts. I close my eyes and count to 10. When I open them, the rage has crystallized into something much more useful. Purpose. Janelle, I think we should meet. We arranged to meet tomorrow night at Murphy's Diner on 5th Street. It's the kind of place Harper would never be seen in, which makes it perfect for planning her social downfall. After I hang up, I pour myself a real drink. The good whiskey Harper bought for special occasions that never seem to arrive. Tonight feels special enough. I toast the empty apartment. You called me invisible, Harper. Now watch me burn down your world. Murphy's Diner looks exactly like every small-town diner you've ever seen in a movie about forgotten America. Red vinyl booths, fluorescent lighting that makes everyone look sick, and coffee that could strip paint. It's perfect. Janelle Morrison turns out to be a thin, sharp-featured woman in her late 30s with intelligent eyes and the kind of smile that suggests she knows where all the bodies are buried. She's already claimed a corner booth when I arrive, nursing a cup of coffee and checking her phone. Colin? She looks up as I approach. You look better than Harper made you sound. I slide into the booth across from her. What did she say? That you'd let yourself go? That you were probably going bald and definitely getting fat? Janelle's smile turns predatory. She's a liar about everything else, so I figured she was lying about that too. The waitress, a tired-looking woman in her 50s, appears with a coffee pot. I order coffee and pie. If I'm going to plan my wife's destruction, I might as well enjoy some apple pie while I do it. So, I say once we're alone again, tell me about Pinnacle Real Estate. Janelle leans forward, lowering her voice. It's a small firm, but we handle some big accounts. Harper's been there 2 years, came in talking about her connections and her vision for growth. What she really meant was she planned to sleep her way to the top. Has she done this before? The affair thing? 3 times that I know of. There was Marcus in accounting, but he was married and wouldn't leave his wife. Then David from the mortgage company, but he got transferred to Phoenix. Now Liam. I pull out a small notebook and start writing. Harper always made fun of my old-fashioned habit of taking notes by hand, but there's something satisfying about the scratch of pen on paper. What's Liam's story? Trust fund baby trying to prove he can make it on his own. His family owns half the commercial real estate in the county, but he wants to earn his success. He's actually not terrible at sales, but he's lazy and entitled. Perfect for Harper. And he knows she's married? Janelle snorts. He knows. They joke about it. Harper told him you're practically roommates anyway, and that you'd probably thank her for putting you out of your misery. I write that down, too. The pie arrives, and I take a bite. It's surprisingly good. Here's what I don't understand, I say. Why help me? What's your endgame? Janelle stirs her coffee thoughtfully. Harper's been systematically undermining every woman at the firm. She's convinced our boss, Mr. Peterson, that she's indispensable, while the rest of us are just filling seats. She's blocked 3 promotions, taken credit for deals she didn't close, and now she's about to get her boyfriend promoted over people who've been there for years. So if Harper goes down, the playing field gets leveled. Plus, I genuinely think what she's doing to you is cruel. I was married to a cheater once. I know how it feels. I study her face, looking for deception, but I only see genuine anger and determination. Harper made an enemy of the wrong person. What do you need from me? I ask. Access to her personal communications, the stuff she doesn't do on company email. If I can prove she's been sharing confidential client information with Liam or using company resources for personal business, Peterson will have to fire her. I pull out my phone and show her some of the screenshots I took from Harper's secret email. Janelle's eyes widen as she scrolls through them. This is perfect. Look at this one. She's forwarding client financial information to Liam for deals he's working on. That's a massive ethics violation. What else do you need? Time and opportunity. Peterson's old school. He won't just take my word for it. I need to present him with evidence in a way that doesn't make it obvious I was looking for it. I finish my pie and lean back in the booth. Auburn Falls is a small town, the kind of place where everyone knows everyone else's business. Harper's always hated that about living here, but it's about to work in my favor. Tell me about the company picnic, I say. 2 weeks from Saturday. Peterson hosts it at his house every year. Big barbecue, families invited, very casual. Harper's planning to announce her engagement there because she knows it'll be the talk of the whole company. Will you be there? Of course. I'm bringing my camera. I smile for the first time in days. Perfect. I think I know how to make Harper's big announcement even more memorable than she planned. We spend the next hour going through Harper's emails and social media posts, building a timeline of her affair and documenting every cruel comment she's made about me. Janelle proves to be an excellent strategist, pointing out details I missed and suggesting ways to maximize the impact of each revelation. The key, she says, is to let Harper destroy herself. We just need to create the right circumstances. What do you mean? Harper's weakness is her ego. She can't resist bragging, can't resist being the center of attention. If we give her enough rope, she'll hang herself. By the time we part ways, I have a plan. It's not complicated, but the best revenge never is. It's just a matter of timing and patience. I drive home through the empty streets of Auburn Falls, past the closed shops and flickering streetlights. This town has been dying slowly for 20 years, ever since the steel plant closed, but tonight it feels alive with possibility. Harper wanted to make me invisible. Instead, she's about to learn what happens when the invisible man decides to become very, very visible. I park in front of our apartment building and sit in the car for a moment, looking up at the dark windows of what used to be our home. Tomorrow, I'll start putting my plan into motion. But tonight, I want to savor this feeling of anticipation. My phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. Heard Harper left you. Sorry, man. You're better off without her. Mason. Mason Rodriguez is my supervisor at the warehouse, one of the few people who's ever treated me like I have a brain. We've shared a few beers after particularly brutal shifts, and he's mentioned he used to be a cop before a back injury forced him into warehouse work. I text back, "Thanks. Coffee sometime this week?" "Sure, Thursday after shift." "Perfect." I put the phone away and head upstairs. If I'm going to war, I might as well recruit some allies, and something tells me an ex-cop might have some useful insights about gathering evidence and building cases. Harper always said I was too passive, too willing to let life happen to me instead of taking control. She was right about that. But she's about to learn that passive and invisible aren't the same thing as powerless. I unlock the door to my empty apartment and smile. The game is just beginning. Thursday night at Mel's coffee shop, Mason Rodriguez looks exactly like what he is. A cop who got forced into civilian life but never quite made the transition. Even in warehouse coveralls, he carries himself with the alert posture of someone who spent years expecting trouble. "You look like hell," he says by way of greeting, sliding into the booth across from me. "Thanks. That's exactly what every man wants to hear." "I'm serious. When's the last time you slept?" He signals the waitress for coffee. "And don't tell me you're fine. I've seen that look before. You're planning something." I decide to be direct. Mason's the kind of guy who appreciates straight talk. Harper cleaned out our accounts and ran off with some kid from her office. I'm thinking about evening the score. Mason's expression doesn't change, but his eyes sharpen. "What kind of evening?" "The legal kind. I'm not going to hurt anyone or burn down any buildings, but I'm also not going to let her ride off into the sunset with my money and my dignity." The waitress brings Mason's coffee. He takes a sip and studies my face. "Tell me what you've got." I pull out my phone and show him some of Harper's emails and text messages. Mason reads in silence, his cop instincts taking over as he processes the information. "She's been planning this for months," he says finally. "This isn't a sudden decision or a moment of weakness. This is premeditated." That's what I figured. And she's been sharing confidential client information with her boyfriend. That's probably illegal, depending on how their employment contracts are written. Her coworker thinks it's enough to get her fired. Mason leans back in the booth. "Colin, I need to ask you something, and I want a straight answer. How far are you willing to take this?" "What do you mean?" "I mean, are you looking for justice or revenge? Because there's a difference, and it matters." I consider the question. It's a good one. I want her to face consequences for what she's done. I want people to know who she really is. And I want my money back. That's justice. Revenge would be wanting to destroy her life just to watch her suffer. Maybe there's some of that too. Mason nods. "Fair enough, as long as you're honest about it." He leans forward. "Here's what you need to understand. If you're going to do this, you need to do it right. No half measures, no emotional outbursts, no stupid mistakes that give her ammunition to use against you." I'm listening. "First, document everything. Every communication, every financial transaction, every lie she's told. Build a timeline. Make it bulletproof." Already started. "Second, understand that this is going to get ugly. Harper's not going to take it lying down. She's going to fight back, and she's going to try to make you look like the bad guy. You need to be prepared for that." What kind of fighting back? Mason's smile is grim. Restraining orders, claims of harassment or stalking. She might even try to say you threatened her. Women like Harper, when they're cornered, they get creative. So what do I do? You stay squeaky clean. No contact with her except through lawyers. No showing up at her work or her new apartment. No drunk texting or angry voicemails. Everything you do has to be above board. I nod, taking mental notes. What else? You're going to need allies. People who've seen Harper's true colors, people who have their own reasons to want her taken down a peg, but be careful who you trust. This town's small enough that word gets around. I've already got someone helping me, Janelle from Harper's office. Good. Anyone else? I think about it. My sister Rhonda knows everyone in town. She never liked Harper anyway. Family's tricky. They want to help, but they're emotionally invested. They might push you to do something stupid. Rhonda's not like that. She's practical. Mason finishes his coffee. All right. Here's what I think you should do. You've got 2 weeks until this company picnic where Harper's planning her big announcement, right? Right. Use that time to build your case. Get all your evidence organized. Figure out exactly what you want to accomplish and how you're going to do it. Then, when she makes her move, you'll be ready to make yours. Any specific advice? Yeah. Remember that the best revenge is living well. Don't let this consume you. Don't become someone you don't recognize just to get back at her. I shake his hand as we prepare to leave. Thanks, Mason. I mean it. Don't thank me yet. Thank me when this is all over and you're still the kind of man you can respect in the mirror. I drive home thinking about what Mason said. He's right about the danger of becoming someone I don't recognize. But he's also right that Harper needs to face consequences for what she's done. The next morning, I call in sick to work and drive to the Auburn Falls Public Library. It's time to do some research. Tak, the librarian, Mrs. Chen, remembers me from when I used to bring Harper here during our early dating days. Harper always complained that the library smelled like old books and loneliness, but I found it peaceful. Haven't seen you in a while, Colin, Mrs. Chen says. How's married life treating you? It's been educational, I reply. I need to use the computers for some research. Legal stuff. She directs me to a terminal in the back corner, away from the main traffic. Perfect. I spend the next 4 hours researching employment law, ethics violations in real estate, and the legal requirements for divorce proceedings in our state. What I learn is encouraging. Harper's sharing of client information with Liam isn't just unethical, it's potentially criminal, depending on the nature of the information and how it was used. Real estate agents have fiduciary duties to their clients that Harper has clearly violated. More importantly, I discover that Harper's claim about the prenup might not be as ironclad as she thinks. Prenuptial agreements can be voided if one party can prove fraud, duress, or failure to disclose assets. And Harper definitely doesn't know about some assets I've kept quiet about. My phone buzzes with a text from Janelle. Peterson's out of town until Monday. Perfect time to accidentally discover some interesting emails. Can you meet tonight? I text back. Same place, same time. As I leave the library, I run into Tom Mitchell, an old friend from high school who now works at the bank. We haven't talked in months, not since Harper started discouraging me from maintaining friendships she considered beneath us. Colin, how are you, man? Tom's smile is genuine, which makes what I'm about to do feel slightly dirty. Hey, Tom, I'm all right. Listen, I hate to ask, but I'm having some issues with my accounts. Harper's been handling our finances, and I think there might be some irregularities. Tom's expression becomes more serious. What kind of irregularities? Money missing. Transfers I didn't authorize. I'm probably going to need to get lawyers involved, but I wanted to document everything first. Come by the bank tomorrow morning. Ask for me specifically. I'll see what I can do to help. Thanks, Tom. I really appreciate it. As I drive away, I feel a mixture of satisfaction and guilt. Tom's a good guy who's genuinely trying to help, and I'm using his friendship to gather ammunition against Harper. But then I remember Harper's email to her sister, the one where she called me a dying houseplant, and the guilt fades. Harper started this war. I'm just making sure I don't lose it. That evening at Murphy's Diner, Janelle has news. I found something big, she says, sliding a manila folder across the table. Harper's been skimming commission from deals she worked with other agents. Small amounts, but it adds up. I flip through the documents. Bank deposits, commission statements, emails discussing deal splits. It's damning. How did you get this? Peterson asked me to organize the files for the quarterly review while he's out of town. I just happened to notice some discrepancies. This could get her arrested. Maybe, definitely fired. And once word gets out in the real estate community, she'll never work in this field again. I study the papers more carefully. Harper's been clever about it, taking just enough to avoid immediate detection, but not so much that anyone would notice right away. It's the kind of long-term thinking that made her good at her job and terrible as a wife. When are you going to show this to Peterson? Monday morning. I want to give him time to process it before the company picnic on Saturday. What do you think he'll do? Janelle's smile is sharp. Peterson's old school. He built this company on reputation and trust. When he finds out Harper's been stealing and sharing confidential information, he's going to be furious. Furious enough to fire her publicly? Maybe, especially if he thinks she's made him look bad in front of the whole company. We spend the rest of the evening refining our plan. Janelle will present the evidence to Peterson on Monday, giving him the weekend to decide how to handle it. Meanwhile, I'll make sure that Harper's personal betrayals become public knowledge at exactly the right moment. As we're leaving the diner, Janelle stops me. Colin, I need to ask you something. What happens after? After Harper's fired and humiliated and everyone knows what she did? What do you mean? I mean, what happens to you? Are you going to be able to move on, or is this going to eat you alive? It's a fair question, and I don't have a good answer. I guess I'll find out. Just don't let her win by turning you into someone bitter and twisted. That would be the worst revenge of all. I drive home thinking about Janelle's warning. She's right to be concerned. I can feel something changing in me, something harder and colder than I used to be. But maybe that's not entirely bad. Maybe I needed to develop some edges. Harper always said I was too soft, too willing to let people walk over me. Well, she's about to learn what happens when the soft man decides to push back. The apartment feels less empty now, more like a base of operations than a tomb. I pour myself a drink and sit at the kitchen table with all my evidence spread out in front of me. In 10 days, Harper Draper is going to get the surprise of her life. And I'm going to be there to watch every second of it. The call comes on Friday morning while I'm getting ready for work. Unknown number, but I recognize the voice immediately. Colin, we need to talk. Harper sounds strained, not like the confident woman who left me that cold note 2 weeks ago. I thought your lawyer was handling everything. This is different. I know what you've been doing. I don't know what you mean. Don't play dumb. Someone's been asking questions about me at work, going through files, talking to clients. I know it's you. Harper, I haven't contacted your work or your clients. I've been keeping to myself, just like your note suggested. Then explain how Peterson got an anonymous tip about my commission reports. Explain how someone leaked my personal emails to half the office. I genuinely don't know what she's talking about. Janelle wasn't supposed to present anything to Peterson until Monday, and I haven't leaked any emails. Someone else is playing this game. Maybe you've made more enemies than you realized, I say. Cut the crap, Colin. Meet me tonight at Riverside Park, 7 o'clock. We're going to settle this. She hangs up before I can respond. I stare at the phone, my mind racing. This isn't how the plan was supposed to unfold. Harper's not supposed to know anything until the company picnic tomorrow. I call Janelle, but it goes straight to voicemail. Then I remember she mentioned taking a long weekend to visit her sister in Chicago. She left yesterday morning. So who tipped off Peterson? Who leaked Harper's emails? My phone rings again. This time it's Tom from the bank. Colin, you need to get down here right away. There's been some unusual activity on your accounts. What kind of activity? Someone tried to access your savings account this morning, the one Harper doesn't know about. They had most of your personal information, but they didn't have the security questions right. The savings account. The one I opened 5 years ago with money from freelance coding jobs Harper didn't know about. The one that now contains almost $30,000. I'll be right there. At the bank, Tom shows me the attempted access logs. Someone with Harper's IP address tried to log into my account at 9:47 this morning, about 20 minutes before she called me. How did she even know about this account? Tom asks. She didn't. Someone must have told her. But who? The only people who knew about that account were me, Tom, and my sister Rhonda. I told her about it last Christmas when she was worried about my financial security. She promised not to tell anyone, but Rhonda's always had a big mouth when she's angry. I drive to Rhonda's house, a tidy 2-bedroom in the older part of town. She's in her garden, attacking weeds with the kind of fury usually reserved for personal enemies. Rhonda, we need to talk. She looks up, dirt smudged on her cheek. About time. I've been waiting for you to grow a spine. What did you do? What needed to be done? Harper's been trash-talking you all over town, Colin. At the grocery store, at the post office, even at church, telling everyone you're a lazy nobody who never deserved her. So you decided to what exactly? Rhonda stands up, brushing dirt off her knees. I decided to fight back. I may have mentioned to a few people that Harper's been cheating on you, and I may have suggested they ask her about it directly. What people? Peterson's wife, for starters. They go to the same book club, and Martha Stevens from the real estate board, and possibly that gossipy woman who works at the coffee shop downtown. I close my eyes and count to 10. Rhonda's heart was in the right place, but she's just blown up my carefully planned revenge. Rhonda, you don't understand. I had a plan. A good plan. And Your plan was taking too long, she interrupts. Harper needed to be stopped now, before she could do any more damage to your reputation. My reputation? What about my bank account? She tried to access my savings this morning. Rhonda's face goes pale. I might have mentioned that you weren't as broke as she was telling people. You told her about the account? Not directly, but Martha Stevens' husband works at the bank, and you know how people talk. I sit down heavily on Rhonda's porch steps. My secret weapon is blown, Harper knows I'm coming for her, and now I have to meet her tonight without any of the advantages I thought I had. I'm sorry, Colin. I was just trying to help. I know, but now Harper's going to be ready for whatever I throw at her. So what are you going to do? I think about it. The careful plan is ruined, but maybe that's not entirely bad. Maybe it's time for a direct confrontation. I'm going to meet her tonight, and I'm going to tell her exactly what I think of her and her boyfriend. Want me to come with you? No, this is between me and Harper. I spend the rest of the day preparing for the meeting. I print out copies of all Harper's emails and text messages. I organize the evidence of her financial betrayal and her workplace misconduct. If she wants a confrontation, I'll give her one she won't forget. Riverside Park at 7 o'clock is exactly as depressing as it sounds. The playground equipment is rusty, the grass is patchy, and the river smells like industrial runoff. But it's private, which is what matters. Harper's already there when I arrive, sitting on a picnic table near the water. She's wearing jeans and a sweater, casual clothes that make her look younger and more vulnerable than the power suits she usually prefers. For a moment, I remember why I fell in love with her 15 years ago. Then I remember the note she left on my pillow, and the feeling passes. You came, she says as I approach. You said we needed to talk. We do. She gestures to the bench across from her. Sit down, Colin, please. I remain standing. What do you want, Harper? I want to know why you're trying to destroy my life. I'm not trying to destroy anything. I'm just making sure people know the truth about who you really are. The truth? Her voice rises. The truth is that our marriage has been over for 2 years, and we both know it. The truth is that we've been making each other miserable, and I finally had the courage to do something about it. The courage to steal my money and run off with your boyfriend? I didn't steal anything. That money was legally mine according to our prenup. I pull out my phone and show her a photo of the document I found at the library. You mean this prenup? The one that's invalid because you failed to disclose your debt to your credit cards? The one that can be voided because you committed fraud during our marriage? Harper's face goes white. What fraud? The affair, for starters. The financial infidelity. The breach of fiduciary duty to your clients. I pull out the folder of evidence. Should I go on? She snatches the folder and flips through it, her expression growing more panicked with each page. Where did you get this? Does it matter? The point is, people are going to find out who you really are. Your boss, your clients, your precious new boyfriend. Colin, you don't understand. If this gets out, it won't just hurt me. It'll hurt Liam, too. He didn't know about the client information sharing. I never told him where I got the leads. That's his problem. Harper stands up, and for the first time since I've known her, she looks genuinely desperate. Please, I'll give you back the money, all of it. Just don't destroy my career over this. It's too late for that. You should have thought about consequences before you decided to humiliate me in front of the entire town. I never meant for it to go this far. Yes, you did. You planned this for months, Harper. You systematically destroyed our marriage, stole my money, and tried to make me look like a pathetic loser who deserved to be abandoned. She's crying now, which should make me feel victorious. Instead, it just makes me feel tired. What do you want? She whispers. I want you to face the consequences of your choices. Tomorrow, at your company picnic, everyone's going to learn exactly what kind of person you are. Colin, please. No. I turn to walk away, then stop. For what it's worth, Harper, you were right about one thing. Our marriage was over. But you eliminated it, not me, and now you get to live with what you've done. I leave her sitting by the river, crying in the gathering darkness. I should feel triumphant, but mostly I just feel empty. Tomorrow is the company picnic. Tomorrow, Harper learns what it feels like to be invisible. Saturday morning dawns bright and clear, the kind of perfect autumn day that makes Auburn Falls look almost picturesque. I spend an hour at the gym, working off nervous energy and trying to focus on what's about to happen. The Pinnacle Real Estate Company picnic starts at noon at Peterson's house, a sprawling colonial on the good side of town. I'm not invited, obviously, but that's not going to stop me from making an appearance. At 11:30, I drive to the staging area I've chosen, the parking lot of St. Mary's Church, which sits on a hill overlooking Peterson's neighborhood. From here, I can see cars arriving, people gathering on the back lawn, the red and white striped tent where Harper plans to announce her engagement. My phone buzzes. Text from Janelle. Back from Chicago. What did I miss? I call her and explain yesterday's confrontation with Harper and Rhonda's well-intentioned sabotage. So she knows you're coming, Janelle says. She knows I have evidence against her. She doesn't know exactly when or how I plan to use it. Are you still going through with this? More than ever. Harper had a chance to do the right thing last night. She chose to try to manipulate me instead. What do you need me to do? Just be there. Document everything, and be ready to back me up if Peterson has questions about the evidence. Colin, are you sure about this? Once you do this, there's no going back. Harper will never forgive you. Good. I don't want her forgiveness. I want her consequences. At 12:15, I see Harper's car arrive. She's driving Liam's Tesla, the one I keyed 2 weeks ago. They've had the scratches repaired, but I can still see faint marks in the paint. Harper gets out wearing a blue sundress that I bought her for last year's company picnic. The irony isn't lost on me. Liam emerges from the passenger side, looking nervous and overdressed in a suit that probably costs more than I make in a month. They walk toward the backyard, hand in hand, Harper smiling and waving at coworkers like she doesn't have a care in the world. Either she's a better actress than I thought, or she's convinced herself that I won't follow through on my threats. She's about to learn otherwise. At 1 o'clock, I drive down the hill and park on the street outside Peterson's house. I can hear music and laughter from the backyard, the sounds of people enjoying themselves. I almost feel bad about what I'm about to do. Almost. I walk around to the backyard gate, carrying a manila envelope and wearing my best smile. The party is in full swing. Maybe 50 people scattered across the lawn, kids playing on a swing set, adults clustered around picnic tables loaded with food. Peterson himself is manning the grill. A big man in his 60s with the kind of commanding presence that makes you understand how he built a successful business. He looks up as I approach. Can I help you? Mr. Peterson? I'm Colin Draper, Harper's husband. I was hoping to have a word with you. Peterson's expression becomes guarded. He's clearly heard something about Harper's marital situation. This probably isn't the best time or place. Actually, sir, I think it's the perfect time and place. I hand him the envelope. I have some information about Harper that I think you need to see. Information that affects your business. Peterson opens the envelope and scans the first few documents. His face darkens as he reads. Where did you get this? Does it matter? The question is, what are you going to do about it? By now, we've attracted attention. Conversations are stopping as people notice the tension between Peterson and me. Harper, who's been holding court near the dessert table, finally spots me and goes pale. Colin, she calls out, walking quickly toward us. What are you doing here? I'm having a conversation with your boss about your work performance. Liam appears at Harper's side, trying to look protective, but mostly looking scared. Maybe we should take this somewhere private. No, I say loudly enough for everyone to hear. I think Harper's co-workers deserve to know what kind of person they're working with. Colin, please, Harper starts. Please what? Please keep quiet while you steal from your clients and share their confidential information with your boyfriend? Please pretend I don't know about the commission fraud and the ethics violations? The backyard has gone completely quiet now. Even the kids have stopped playing, sensing the adult drama unfolding. Peterson looks up from the documents, his face grim. Harper, is this true? Have you been sharing client information with Liam? I can explain. Have you been skimming commissions from joint deals? Harper's mouth opens and closes like a fish out of water. Liam steps forward, trying to salvage the situation. Mr. Peterson, I think there's been a misunderstanding. No misunderstanding, I interrupt. Harper's been planning to leave me for months. She's been bragging about it to anyone who'll listen, sharing private details about our marriage, and laughing about how she was going to trade up to someone with better prospects. I pull out my phone and start reading from Harper's emails. Colin's like a houseplant. You forget he's there until he starts dying and makes the place smell bad. That's what she wrote to her sister about me. Gasps and murmurs ripple through the crowd. Harper looks like she wants to disappear into the ground. Or how about this one? I continue. I can't wait to announce my engagement at the company picnic. Everyone will finally see that I'm not stuck with that loser anymore. Stop, Harper whispers. Why should I stop? You didn't stop when you were humiliating me. You didn't stop when you were stealing my money or sharing confidential client information to help your boyfriend close deals. Peterson steps forward, his voice carrying the authority of someone who's used to being obeyed. That's enough. Harper, Liam, in my office first thing Monday morning. We're going to have a very serious conversation about ethics and professional conduct. Mr. Peterson, Liam starts, Monday morning, 9 o'clock sharp. The crowd is buzzing now, people whispering and staring. Harper's carefully constructed image is crumbling in real time, and everyone can see it happening. Janelle appears at my elbow, having materialized from somewhere in the crowd. Colin, maybe we should go. Not yet. I look directly at Harper, who's standing frozen in the middle of the lawn. You wanted to make a big announcement today, didn't you, about your engagement? Don't, she pleads. Why not? Everyone's here. Your boss, your coworkers, all the people you've been bragging to about your new life. I turn to address the crowd. Ladies and gentlemen, Harper Draper would like to announce her engagement to Liam Corder. Unfortunately, she's still married to me, and she funded her new relationship by stealing money from our joint accounts and sharing confidential client information to help her boyfriend's career. The silence that follows is deafening. Then someone in the crowd starts to laugh. Not cruel laughter, but the kind of uncomfortable chuckling that happens when people don't know how else to react to a social disaster. Harper finally finds her voice. You bastard. You absolute bastard. I'm the bastard. I'm not the one who cheated and lied and stole. She lunges at me, actually tries to slap me, but Liam catches her arm. For a moment, I think she might break free and really attack me. Part of me almost hopes she will, just to complete her public humiliation. Instead, she starts crying. Big, ugly sobs that make her makeup run and her carefully styled hair fall into her face. I hate you, she chokes out. I hate you so much. I know, I reply calmly. That's why we're getting divorced. Peterson clears his throat, clearly wanting to regain control of his party. I think it's time for everyone to take a step back. Colin, thank you for bringing this information to my attention. Harper, Liam, I'll see you Monday. The crowd begins to disperse, people drifting away in small groups, already gossiping about what they've just witnessed. Harper's grand announcement has become the talk of the party, just not in the way she planned. As I turn to leave, Liam finally speaks up. This isn't over. I stop and look back at him. Yes, it is. Harper made her choice, and now she gets to live with the consequences. Both of you do. You've destroyed her career, her reputation. No, she did that herself. I just made sure people found out about it. I walk away, leaving Harper crying in the middle of Peterson's backyard while her coworkers whisper and stare. Janelle follows me to my car. How do you feel? She asks. I think about it. Empty, satisfied, tired. Any regrets? Ask me in a week. As I drive away, I can see the party continuing in my rearview mirror, but the energy has changed. Harper's humiliation has cast a shadow over the whole event, exactly as I intended. My phone rings as I'm pulling into my apartment complex. Unknown number. Colin Draper? Speaking. This is James Sykes, attorney at law. I represent Harper Draper. We need to talk. About what? About the harassment and defamation case my client is considering filing against you. I laugh, surprising myself. Good luck with that, counselor. Everything I said today was true, and I have documentation to prove it. We'll see about that. Yes, we will. I hang up and sit in my car for a moment, processing what just happened. In the space of an hour, I've destroyed Harper's career, humiliated her in front of her coworkers, and probably ended her relationship with Liam. I should feel victorious. Instead, I just feel tired. But as I walk up to my apartment, I realize something has changed. For the first time in months, I feel like myself again. Not the invisible man Harper tried to make me, but the person I was before she convinced me I was worthless. Harper called me invisible. Today, I made sure everyone could see me clearly. And tomorrow, I start building a new life from the ashes of the old one.